bathroom, came out about a minute later, said call an ambulance, and unfortunately passed out and never woke up again. So, and the ambulance got there quickly. They got there in like 3 or 4 minutes. They were really close by. So he died at the chessboard, which I actually think is good. That's where...
I think that's a beautiful story.
He lived his whole life at the chessboard, and I'm glad he died at the chessboard. That's where he...
it's like...
He died doing
what he loves, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And he died at war, which I also think is the masculine... It's the masculine way. It's the masculine imperative. You can hope. The best you can hope for is to die at war. So.
Obviously, I want to move past this because I'm kind of an emotional person. When I hear these stories, I kind of like... It kind of gives me goosebumps, but... If you could have one last conversation with your dad, what would you tell him?
That's interesting because my father always had, me and him never had conversations in which I'd say, hey dad, I think I'm going to do this. And he'd be like, wow, really son? I'm so proud of you. It was just like, well, duh. It was always very much like that.
Yeah, you're
like,
going to make it.
Hey dad, I'm the most Googled man in the world and I've got hundreds of millions of dollars. Duh, you're Tate. Whatever. Like it was, his expectations of me, but they weren't in an arrogant way. They were just so ridiculously high. It was just, well, obviously. So I don't think we talk much about the material successes of anything. My father would be happiest knowing that his bloodline is secure and that I exist and my goal is to have 20 sons, and that's what he'd be happiest to know, and that he's done his job, and to know that I pay respect to him every chance I get, and I mention him as much as possible, and he did a fantastic job with me. The great thing about children is that if you do a good job with them, a truly exceptional job, they allow you to live forever. Because my father is discussed on the biggest podcast in the world repeatedly because of me.
I love that.
Which is good. I'm such a fantastic person that they discuss my origin, which means my dad is discussed. So if I do a fantastic job with my son, I will be discussed on the biggest podcast of the future, and you get to stay alive forever. So that's going to be the end goal, and I feel that I'm doing him justice and the ancestors justice and the last name justice. In fact, I know I am. Of course, he'd be exceptionally proud, and then he'd probably whoop me at chess, and then he'd go back to wherever he's chilling. So that would be it.
That's beautiful. Now, do you watch football, by the way?
Never. I only watch the World Cup games only to watch England lose because they always lose. But yeah, bro, England. The English in me comes out for football.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like headbutting someone, and then the game's over, and it's back to not caring.
Now, okay, and I'm sure you know Ronaldo, Messi.
Yeah, I know those two.
Okay, if you had to pick Ronaldo or Messi,
I don't have a clue. I don't know.
I'll tell you. Messi, naturally talented. Ronaldo, hard work.
I don't know. I can't choose. I've never watched a Premier League game. I don't watch any of the Arsenal-Chelsea stuff. Like I said, I didn't watch any of the Euros till England got to the final and lost.
Yeah.
And then I watched one World Cup. I watched 2 World Cup games, 2 England games. Now
do you watch basketball?
Now they're out. No, I don't watch that either.
Any sports?
If there's a really big fight or a really big boxing match once a year, maybe twice a year, I might watch that.
All right, talking about that, obviously,
that's about it.
You're a kickboxing champion. Recently, you did the whole head-to-head with Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Is that a fight that could happen? Like, would you fight Jake Paul?
Jake Paul is the only one of the YouTube boxers who can actually fight. All the rest of them are complete clowns.
Yeah.
I don't think Jake and I are going to end up fighting. There's too much negotiations and paperwork behind the scenes and things I can't discuss publicly. But I actually like Jake as well. When I first called him out 3 or 4 years ago, it would have made a lot more sense for him and me.
Yeah.
But time passes, things go on, and I don't think there's anyone else worth $1 billion who's bothered training for YouTube boxing fights.
Yeah.
I have things to do. I have a large business empire, and I have a lot to get done. So.
Okay. Now, moving back onto the business sense, what is your biggest source of income? Where do you make the most money?
That's confidential. I can't possibly say.
Okay.
Can't say.
Right now, what is the best way to make money for people watching? What do you think? What is the best way to do it?
Okay, so the days of easy money are gone. I want to, even in the last 2 or 3 years, it was easy money mode. Every idiot you knew was making money. Every clown had made money on a pump. You know, the number of people who thought they were expert crypto traders in the last 3 years is so funny. I'm a great crypto trader. Everything went up. It all went up. What do you mean you're a great trader? You could have bought anything. You bought poo dick coin and made money. Of course you're a trader. All that shit's over, right? So all the easy money's gone. It's all cyclical. So all the amateurs are going to start suffering because now we're entering the realm of the professional, and making money is going to be harder than it's ever been.
Yeah.
All the free money's disappearing. You have to become very, very confident and competent. And that's one of the things about the last few years. Anyone who made money in those years, a lot of them didn't learn any lessons. A lot of them didn't learn how to make money. They just got lucky and just picked up a pump or caught some garbage, but they didn't actually learn anything specifically. The best way to make money in the world today certainly has to be something online. I think that making money online gives you absolute freedom of your own geography. It gives you access to the largest possible customer base. And there's 18 different modern wealth creation methods that we teach inside of the real world that will allow people to make money online. So that's going to be a nice, easy plug to go there. But it's interesting. It's an attention economy. And truthfully, without saying too much, you either need to be prepared to get a whole bunch of attention on you, like we're all doing here, or you need to be close to somebody who's doing that. And that's where a lot of the money is flowing nowadays.
Now, look, I'm a person that believes in people do change. Before I continue this topic, what's like, would you say you made a lot of mistakes?
No.
You used to have a webcam business. A lot of people, let's say, would say that's wrong. Number one, just generally morally wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of people might say, well, you were scamming people.
I sit here and I do not think I've made any mistakes. Every single action I've taken has led me here, and I'm very happy with where I am. So I've not made any mistakes. As for scamming people, I think the industry as a whole is a scam.
Yeah.
But I was not scamming people any more than anyone else involved in the industry. I personally think the industry is a scam. However, a lot of the men who are involved and send money to girls on webcams don't think it's a scam. They like it and they enjoy it and they think it's totally worth it. So I think it's a scam, but they don't. So it's their prerogative.
But let's say like your son wanted to do this business one day. Would you say, son, it's great, go for it, or would you rather he does something?
Yeah, as in, it wasn't a mistake, it was part of your journey, I get it, but would you kind of advise like,
that's already the past,
I needed to do it to get here, but like, as in like, if you don't need to do it, don't do it?
Well, it won't exist much longer anyway, but to stay inside the parameters of the question.
Yeah.
If my son were to come along and say, I found a job that I'm going to take exceptionally serious, it involves opening a webcam studio, but it's going to allow me to bring the entire family out of poverty and we're going to make millions of dollars and I'm going to take it seriously and work very hard at it, I'll say, good, congratulations, do it. We can talk about the specifics of the webcam industry for hours, but I don't think it's beneficial. But we can. But to sit and pretend that industry is somehow worse than the pharmaceutical industry forcing people to have poison injections that they don't want, or the arms dealing industry, or the industry of war destroying people who are walking through a field for no reason. Most industries are actually far more heinous than a man and a woman laughing together on a webcam. It's really not a big deal.
But like, there's so many options of businesses out there.
Yeah, well, you say that. You say there's so many options of businesses out there, but this was 10 or 11 years ago, and 10 or 11 years ago, even making money on the internet didn't exist like it does today. Podcasting didn't exist. YouTube didn't exist. Like, it was just MySpace and brand new Facebook. And I don't think that many people would sit and find a way to make a lot of money with a very profitable business and go, oh no, let me throw this away and just find another one. That's not how the world works.
Now, okay, right now, if I gave Andrew Tate $1 trillion,
is that it?
Okay, let's say an amount.
If I gave you
no.
If I gave you $1 trillion,
okay,
what would you spend it on?
The problem is there's nothing to buy. I already have this problem. And I already have the problem that there's genuinely nothing to buy. You buy some clothes, you got some clothes.
Yeah.
I have 30 something cars, you get all your cars. I keep buying new ones because there's nothing else to buy.
Yeah.
You buy 20 diamond watches, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
There's nothing to buy. I have everything, bro. I need someone to invent something that I want. I don't want anything that I can already afford everything on the planet.
Buy the moon. I don't know. Buy a spaceship.
I don't really want to go to space. There's nothing.
Do you believe there's life outside of Earth?
Yes. I don't know if how that fits in religiously, but I do think that logically it would make sense.
So, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you?
I definitely do. I think definitely, like, if I don't think that there are aliens, it'd just be a very sad life. Like, we're just gonna live and die, and that's it.
Completely.
What do you think the purpose of life is actually?
From an animalistic perspective, we're just here to procreate and reproduce and spread our genes. But perhaps it's a journey of discovery.
Because I always think, like, there's 7 billion of us, right? And we're all gonna die.
But why does it have to have a purpose? Who said life have to have?
Wouldn't it suck? Like, we're just gonna live, die. Like, there must be something we're not like.
Sometimes life sucks, bro.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could answer the question from a religious perspective. I can answer the question from an evolutionary perspective. But to answer the question from a philosophical perspective, there doesn't have to be a meaning.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just suck. Bro, there are babies that are born that die same day. It's just unfortunate. That's just life. Nothing has to make sense. It doesn't always have to make sense.
Yeah.
Do you think life is a test?
If it is, I would like to think that the number one test is if you're going to be true to yourself and honest in the face of all adversities and all the people trying to tell you to be quiet, because I think everybody's facing a similar version of a much smaller version of what I'm going through. You're trying to tell the truth and people are trying to stop you from doing it and tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I think you should just be true to yourself and true to your heart. I think that's the true test, because that's where real happiness lies. I want to make it very clear to people that you're never going to be happy if you're not honest with yourself and living your true experience that you want to live on this planet. When you're on your deathbed, you're going to look back at your life and say, did I do what I really want to do?
Yeah.
Did I say what I really want to say? Did I call Balenciaga pedophiles? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to look back on. So you have to find the honesty and the bravery to do that, because that's the most important thing you can do as a person.
Getting onto the topic of women now, before I ask the questions, how's your, because obviously you have a mom and you have a sister.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with your mom and sister?
Good.
Do you think women can be leaders, like presidents? Do you think that's a role that kind of fits them, or?
I think that the qualities needed for effective leadership are innately masculine. I think that some of the best leaders in history who were female, for example, Margaret Thatcher, were only good at the job because they had very masculine qualities. So to say, can women be leaders? Well, if women act like men, can they be leaders? Well, yes. But I guess that would answer the point that intrinsically men are evolutionarily designed to be better at leadership than females, because for a female to be good